You guys see my screen? I'm seeing black after I went into presentation mode. Do you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Do you see it now?
Nope.
No? Let's see. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to the ISSIP annual 2016 Board of Directors meeting. This is also our fourth quarter 2016 board meeting. Okay, So we have a packed agenda today, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Jim couldn't join us, so I'm covering for him. But after we introduce our new president, thank our outgoing president and our new VP, we'll talk about 2017 goals and objectives. Ralph Badinelli, who's our new president, will take us through goals and objectives. And Heather Yorko will go through the goals of Strategy Council, and we'll go through some of the recent events and some upcoming events and awards and publications, and give an update on SIG and communities of interest and ambassadors' activities, and last but not least, run through operations and some of the board decisions and open it up to discussion. And we're hoping to leave in 15 or 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes at the end. So each of us who will be going through slides will do it quickly. So first, I would like to thank our outgoing president, Monique Morrow. She served as the ISSIP president last year, and under her leadership, we have a new platinum member. We maintained our membership with our existing members, and with her leadership, we enhanced the value proposition to our new and existing members. Also, we won an NSF-sponsored workshop that will happen next year. You'll hear more about that. We held 3 conference sponsorships in which we had multiple workshops. We completed T-Summit 2016, more than 40 service innovation speaker series and in-person meetings, grew the number of SIGs and activities of SIGs, and increased our ambassadors' activities, co-creating programs with other professional associations and organizations. We thank Monique, and when we see her next time, we'll have a plaque ready for her. Next, I would like to welcome our new leadership. So, and none of them are unknown names to this crowd. It's my pleasure to welcome Professor Ralph Badinelli, professor at Virginia Tech. As the president of ISSIP, of course, Ralph has been contributing to ISSIP since day one. He has been a board member, and he's been our ambassadors to informs. And of course, Ralph's work includes authoring books and publications. And so we're very happy that Ralph is our president this year. Also, Rama Akiraju, distinguished engineer from IBM Watson. We're delighted that Rama is going to be our vice president this year and our president next year. Rama's accomplishments also span many areas in research development and innovation, has co-authored a number of books and technical papers and very impressive accomplishments. So welcome Ralph and welcome Rama. Without further ado, I will turn it over to Ralph for other introductions.
Okay, thank you, Yassi. It is an honor and a pleasure to serve as the ISSIP president because, as Yassi said, I've been involved in ISSIP, pursuing the ISSIP mission from the very beginning as a founding board member. And it's a pleasure for me because serving in this capacity in ISSIP gives me the opportunity to work with a fantastic group of professionals from all over the world. One of the things that the president does is draft a strategic plan, and we've done that. In a nutshell, what you see here are some of the highlights of that strategic plan. And fundamentally, this year's plan pursues the ISSIP mission in the direction of broadening participation and deepening participation, because we believe that the best way to grow, or the fundamentally sound way to grow ISSIP, is to demonstrate the value that we deliver to our members through programs such as the ones you see here. There are a number of new initiatives that you see on this list. The Technology Radar, which is going to be a program that showcases exciting new technologies from small startup companies that our members may not be aware of. The Innovation Projects program is fostering of academic and industry partnerships through a very wide variety of projects as determined by those members, and that will be global in scope. We're also working on what we're calling for the time being a service education reference model, but this is something that's been motivated by the work that our education SIG has done over the last several years in bringing before the membership the educational programs that are taking place around the world in the area of service and service innovation. And what we plan to do is capture the best practices from those programs and put together sort of a generic service curriculum and then specialize it to the needs of each of our institutional members. We're going to continue to pursue institutional membership growth, as well as do that by trying to internationalize ISSIP more. And we will continue to do our joint meetings with partner organizations and our discovery summits. We're going to codify our value proposition a little bit better and try to monetize some of the activities that we do so that we have something more precise to approach new members with. And also we have, I'm just really delighted that we've energized our ISSIP leadership this year with Rama Akiraju as our Vice President, and Heather Yurko, who is the Strategy Council Chairperson. And this is really a new position, because for the first time our strategic plan was done through a formal procedure of participatory governance, and from here on out this is how ISSIP will do it. So Heather chaired the Strategy Council to review the strategic plan before it was submitted to the board for approval, and I'll let her explain to you more about what the Strategy Council does.
Thanks so much, Ralph. So I just want to to take a moment to introduce our Strategy Council and talk a little bit about some of the work that we've already done just within the first few weeks of this year, and some additional work that we'll be focused on for the rest of this calendar year. So our Strategy Council is formed with members from Cisco, GE, IBM, and JST. Each of these organizations can have either 2 members as part of the Strategy Council that are directly from their organization, or have 1 industry as well as an academic partnership of their choice, which they can choose to have sit on the board for them. Most of our positions have already been filled within the Strategy Council. There are 1 or 2 that are still outstanding that we're working closely with our board members as well as the members already on the Strategy Council to have filled within the next few weeks. So far this year, all of our members have reviewed the 2017 strategic plan. We have provided feedback to the executive committee, as Ralph had mentioned, and a lot of the work that we see coming up for our committee this year is really focusing on having bifurcated messaging both to our institutions as well as to our academic partners, looking, as you mentioned, at value props, but also the member benefits and how we can continue to promote ISSIP and ISSIP strategies in various ways to our user communities. We'll be working with our executive committee throughout the year to look forward on specific goal setting that we want to have for the Strategic Council and for ISSIP as a whole, and then also metrics which we'll be reporting back to the board on an ongoing basis. So at our next board meeting, you can expect a readout on ongoing plans as well as what those goals and metrics will be and our baselines on those. Thanks so much, Rob.
Thank you, Heather and Ralph both. So the next thing I'd like to just report on a discovery summit we had recently with Japan Science and Technology Agency on future of services and societal systems in Society 5.0, which was a discovery summit basically driven by an agenda that the government of Japan is promoting, building on Industrial 4.0. They are calling Society 4.0, 5.0, which is really service innovation in various industries. And you can see the list of people who attended and actually participated and spoke at ISSIP. Jim, Kazu, and myself were basically the programming committee, or on the programming committee that designed this. And we had a very successful program the 2 days that we were there. And the event was recorded and is currently being transcribed. And the goal is to turn that into a white paper and a Business Expert Press book. And this is the kind of discovery summit. We did something similar to this in Korea, and it's a playbook that we find very, very successful, and we'll plan to replicate that in other places. So I'm also very happy to announce that the last day of 2016, we got the final approval for our NSF-sponsored workshop that will happen on March 29th and 30th. This is a 50K award that will bring industry and academia together to explore research opportunities and partnerships between industry and academia to enable human technology frontiers for the next generation of smart service systems. And the goal of this is to put out a white paper and a position paper that basically guides NSF in what areas they would allocate funding for platform innovation. So it's a very important workshop, and we're delighted um, to have won this. And we have already established a programming committee. Ralph, Haluk, Jim, Heather, Professor Steve Kwan, Paul Maglio, and myself are on the programming committee, and we're sending invites, and so it's going to be about 60 people, 30 from academia, 30 from industry, and we're going to hold it at the San Jose State University facility that Professor Kwan has provided to us for such programs. So it's a really nice venue, and we're looking forward to what is going to come out of this session. So currently we have started sending the invites, and this is work in progress. I'll turn this over to Haluk as our ambassador to HICS. Haluk, would you like to go over this?
Yes, Yassi, thank you. Okay, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. And I'd like to talk a couple of minutes about what ISSIP's involvement was and is at one of the information systems conferences. It's called Hawaiian International Conference on System Sciences. And on first week of January, this conference celebrated the 50th year anniversary. This conference is run by University of Hawaii, and it's one of the top 3 conferences in MIS field. As an ISSIP, actually, ISSIP was one of the sponsors, along with IBM, Teradata University, and a few other organizations. And at the HICS conference, we had basically 3 tutorial sessions ran by Yassi, Heather, and Ralph, myself, and Jim, and a few others. And then we had also 2 research mini-track sessions about smart services and cognitive computing. And then we also gave out IBM ISSIP Best Paper Award. And we had 24 nominations, and 5 papers were awarded. Would you like to go next slide? Okay. And these are the winners of the papers. Idea was basically we wanted to give out the Best Paper Award to students, and each research was supposed to be completed with a student and an instructor, faculty, and an industry, basically membership. And so we wanted to look at some of the applied research that are in the mission of the ISSIP, and we are hoping to run this similar award program every year at the HICS conference and a few of the other ISSIP member conferences.
I just want to add to this. We want to thank IBM for partnering with ISSIP on this. Thank you so much, Diane and Jim, for this.
Jim, right.
Go ahead, Hello.
Okay, so these are some of the completed events, and in 2016 and early 2007, the last few weeks. So basically, the first one is the HICS conference. Before that, as an ISSIP, myself, Yassi, and Amar, we attended the Computer Service Symposium in Arizona, and we ran a panel on smart services. And there was also Evolving Education with Cognitive and Data Sciences conference in October, and also 8th International Conference on the Human Side of Service Engineering that was held in Orlando on July 27 and 31st. And Professor Lufrat from San Jose University, he is the ambassador of ISSIP at this conference. And then also in 2016, with leadership of Jim and Yassi, primarily we had these two Discovery Summits, November 6-7, Tokyo, Japan, and the second SMB Consulting Conference in October 13 and 14 in Seoul, Korea. And then also there was a number of innovation luncheons sponsored by San Jose State University and IBM. Again, we'd like to thanks Jim Sporer and Steve Kwan from IBM and San Jose State University for their sponsorship for this lunch events. And these are the planned events for 2017. Basically, first one is the workshop Yassi mentioned earlier, and we are hoping to run similar workshops and research sessions at the Higgs conference in January of 2018. And then there will be a Discovery Summit at basically on April 26th and 27th. And then again, with leadership of Professor Lefraud, we will involve with the 8th International Conference on Applied Human Factors in Los Angeles, California in July. And then also we have plans for another Discovery Summit on April 26th and 27th. And then we are, in addition to that, we are also continuing our weekly Service Innovation Speaker Series on Wednesday mornings, and we are hoping to have another 15 to 20 presenters in next year. Okay, one of the another value-added artifacts I will call is this book series Jim Sporer and I have been co-editing for Business Expert Press. So far, 19 books published in 19 as of end of 2016, and 12 more books are in progress. A number of ISSIP members actually contributed to this book, including Ralph Badenella from Virginia Tech. Thank you, Ralph, again. And then this is kind of open invitation to any of ISSIP members if you would like to contribute, or if you would like to take a look at some of the books that may add value in your organization or your personal development. Please let me or Jim know. We are very happy to facilitate any needs regarding this book series.
Okay, thanks, Alok. Okay, thank you very much, Alok. So next.
Okay, thank you, Yassi.
Thank you. Next thing is an update on our special interest groups. Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
Coming through.
All right. Great. So we had a lot of activities in our special interest group and groups, and as you all know, we have 5 special interest groups, and I won't go through reading every single line, but basically education and research special interest group created a number of presentations that are more than 144 presentations that are recorded and on the ISSIP website. For next year, the idea is to expand that and to also look at how we could actually add more value to our institutional members through this body of knowledge that we have collected. Service Innovation Framework, SIG, you just heard of the activities that the SIG has contributed to Higgs, to the T-Summit last year, and most importantly, to the development of an initial service innovation framework, which is being published through Professor Gerhard Gütergen and his students. And we did a number of workshops this past year based on that. Service design, last year, developed a questionnaire that is being tested with various companies. This year, they just recruited Kaiser Permanente to actually test that. Initially, they went through that with Cisco, and they're looking for more case study partners. SDN, software-defined networks, they also were very active, participating, contributing to workshops at Cisco Live and a number of other conferences, and basically for next year, the goal is to continue participation in other conferences and promoting educational related activities as it regards to SDN and NFV. And our newest SIG is the IoT and Analytics SIG that GE Prashant Tyagi from GE has led, and the SIG was launched. A number of members have been recruited. There is a core team that is working on further developing the goals and objectives of the SIG. We're in the process of, actually we have completed recruiting our co-chair, and soon we'll be announcing that. And then the goal this year is to refine goals and objectives, looking for a partner test bed where use cases can be developed, and of course grow further membership. So many thanks to all the SIG members, SIG leaderships, a lot of great work coming out of the SIGs. Our chapters, we have 3 European chapters, Germany, Italy, and Switzerland. Niels Feldman, who's on the call, and Christoph Heitz, who's also on the call, are leading our German and Swiss chapters respectively, and thank you both for all your contributions. And also the 2 chapters collaborate together very closely. And last year there was an ISSIP Most Innovative Paper Award that was initiated by our German chapter with the leadership of Niels and Christoph, and that's going to continue next year. The chapter is revitalizing. Last year, due to other priorities, the activities were a little slower than the year before. And this year, the chapter is positioned to revitalize. And the Swiss chapter also has been very busy with forming the Swiss Alliance for Data Intensive Services, and already having a number of activities and accomplishing a number of activities since March of last year. And we're exploring doing discovery summits together, either here in the US or in Switzerland, and participating in the conference in Switzerland. So we're exploring that together. And of course, our Italy chapter has been promoting our presence in Italy. University of Salerno, being a member of ISSIP, is a product of that, and as well as University of Naples. So, and last but not least, our community of interest on cognitive computing that is led by Diane Fidel of IBM has been very active every week. There is a speaker, a thought leader from around the world speaking on cognitive computing, and you can actually find the link here and this is really a gem of a site. So I encourage everyone to check it out. So thanks everyone, all of our chapters and community of interest participants and our leaders. Also, with total, we had 34 ambassadors this year, and from last year, we only added 1 or 2 ambassadors. The goal wasn't to increase numbers, but really to increase activities. And a number of initiatives were driven by our ambassadors. And again, I won't go through every single one of them, but certainly a lot of items that you heard in the previous and things that Huluk covered, and Ralph and I and Heather covered actually would have been driven by our ambassadors. So this is really, I think, the most important part of ISSIP. This is our ISSIP volunteers. And a growing number of volunteers. What you see here, this is about probably 50 names. These are names that have continually contributed to ISSIP, I would say, for the most part since the beginning of ISSIP or shortly after. And we're all very grateful to the contribution of every single volunteer of ISSIP. And happy to say that that list is growing. These are some of the names that joined our various SIGs, ambassadors program, and other volunteer program this year. And total number of volunteers in ISSIP currently is 66. And given that we have more than 1,100 members registered on the ISSIP website, we could be doing a lot better. And that's another thing that is one of our goals this year. So just an update on the operation side. On the institutional membership side, last year, as everyone knows, we are happy that GE Digital, with the leadership of Prashant Tyagi, joined ISSIP. Also, Gachan University from Korea and University of Warwick also joined as institutional members of ISSIP. And of course, our existing members, Cisco, IBM, JSC, San Jose State University, and University of Salerno, continued their membership. We're also, as Ralph said, we're also engaging with a number of companies on various programs and co-creating value with them, and expect to see the number of institutional members growing in 2007. Individual membership, at the end of last year, we were at 930. This year, we are at 1,100. Was a healthy growth rate of about 18%. And pretty much the distribution, there's something wrong with my slide, but the distribution is what has happened is we're seeing more students actually participating at ISSIP, which is directionally good. Still, I think we could do much better in attracting students, and one of the things that we think will help that are 2 programs that Ralph mentioned earlier, the technology radar and also the research, academic industry research projects. Other operational updates, we have completed our budget projections. We'll be closing our financial books end of February for preparation for tax reporting that is due on May 15th of this year. And ISSIP annual report will be available on the ISSIP website by the end of January this month. And here is our summary of financials. I won't go through that. It's basically everything as expected and on budget. And just leave it here for a second if there are any questions. And finally, the board approved, of course, the appointment of our chair of the Strategy Council, Heather Yorko, and the ISSIP strategic plan. So we have, thank you everyone for listening. I'd like to open it up to discussions. We have about 20 minutes. This is a record time this time. So please, if there are any questions, any thoughts, this is the time to bring it up to the board. Do you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
Okay, excellent.
No, this is Rama speaking. I don't have any comments. I think there are a few things, few ideas we've discussed with Heather in the Strategy Council on what else we could be doing, and we need to cook those ideas a little bit more in the group before we present them as feasible ideas. But other than that, I don't have any other comments. Looks like a good summary of what happened in 2016 and what we're going to be doing in 2017. Thank you.
Thank you, Rama. Any other comments, questions? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, if there are no more, let me ask the board if there are any thoughts, any questions you have.
Yossi, this is Ralph. I'd just like to let everybody know that my email door is always open, so please, at any time, if you have any ideas, suggestions, recommendations, don't hesitate to send them to me.
Yeah, thanks, Ralph, for mentioning that. This is Jim Sporer. I've finally joined, but sorry about being late. I'll have to listen to the recording. Thank you, Yossi, for. I did have a chance to review the slides, and as Rama said, I thought they were, really a great summary and update. And thank you all for that, Yossi, and others who put them together. So that's all my comments.
Okay, thank you. Thanks everyone for contributing to the slides and everything else in ISSIP. So. Okay, we still have 15 minutes. All right, then I want to thank everyone for attending and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yossi. Thanks for putting it all together.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.